Danny Rolling, dubbed the Gainesville Ripper, was behind the murders of 5 college students in Florida and a family of 3 in Louisiana.
On October 25, 2006, the Florida State Prison prepared for one of its most infamous executions since Ted Bundy. Danny Harold Rolling, the man who terrorized Gainesville in a blood-soaked spree that left 5 college students lifeless in just 4 days, was about to face judgment. Dubbed the Gainesville Ripper, Rolling's reign of terror ended with his capture in a bungled Ocala robbery in 1990.
Imposed the death penalty upon Danny Harold Rolling.
It wasn't until years later in 1994 when he admitted to the murders, leaving a nation stunned. Now, after years on death row, the clock ticked down on a killer whose crimes had haunted Florida for over a decade. Breakfast was the usual institutional fare: eggs, toast, and cereal. But he had no appetite. Weeks of mounting emotions had left him restless, and the sleepless night in his 12 by 7-foot death cell was consumed with the weight of what lay ahead. All this time, he drew disturbing illustrations and wrote a graphic book, The Making of a Serial Killer, with a woman who was his fiancée for a time in prison. With all these ranges of thoughts, his tray sat mostly untouched. At 8 a.m., Rolling met with his brother Kevin and a minister from Kevin's church in Longview, Texas. Their final conversation lasted 3 hours, with physical contact permitted during the last hour per Florida Department of Corrections policy. Arrangements were made to transfer Rolling's belongings to his brother. Among them were a 13-inch television, personal hygiene items, a few books, colored pencils, and the drawings he created with them. Around 11 a.m., Danny Rolling was offered his last meal, a tradition reserved for those facing execution. His selection reflected indulgence: lobster tail, butterfly shrimp, a baked potato, strawberry cheesecake, and sweet tea. Under Florida Department of Corrections rules, prisoners may request a meal costing $40 or less, provided the items are available within the prison. He enjoyed his last meal. He ate every bite, noted Corrections Department spokesman Robbie Cunningham. It was a rare moment of satisfaction amid a day defined by inevitability, as Rolling savored what would be his final connection to the world outside of the prison walls. Meanwhile, the U.S. Supreme Court had sealed Danny Rolling's fate, rejecting his final appeal just hours before his scheduled execution. The last-ditch effort argued that lethal injection constituted cruel and unusual punishment, a claim the court had dismissed before in similar cases. By denying Rolling's emergency petition, the justices cleared the way for his execution to proceed at 6 p.m. at Florida State Prison near Rayford. This wasn't a twist in the story. It was the inevitable outcome of a fate decided long ago. For Rolling, the decision was simply another reminder that his time had run out, and he already just had his last meal. After finishing his last meal, Danny Rolling spent the afternoon with Reverend Mike Hudspeth, his spiritual advisor and pastor of King's Temple United Pentecostal Church in Rolling's hometown of Shreveport, Louisiana. From noon to 4 p.m., the two spoke through the bars of Rolling's death row cell. It was during this time that Rolling handed Hudspeth a startling handwritten confession, one that closed the chapter on a cold case that had haunted Shreveport for 17 years. The one-page note read, "I and I alone am guilty. It was my hand that took those precious lights out of this old dark world. With all my heart and soul, would I could bring them back." The confession detailed Rolling's responsibility for the brutal murders of William T. Grissom, 55, his 24-year-old daughter, Julie, and his 8-year-old grandson, Sean. The family had been preparing dinner on November 4th, 1989, when Rolling stabbed all 3 in their Shreveport home. Julie, in a particularly haunting detail, had been posed post-mortem in a manner that mirrored the horrific crimes Rolling would later commit in Gainesville. Perhaps it was a way to start killing. For years, investigators had suspected Rolling's involvement in the Shreveport murders due to the similarities in method and his presence in the area at the time. However, It wasn't until now, before his execution, that he finally admitted to the crime, bringing his known victim count to 8. As the clock ticked closer to Danny Rolling's execution, the scene outside Florida State Prison mirrored the tension of another infamous evening, Ted Bundy's execution over 17 years earlier. On a barren cow pasture across from the prison, a crowd of about 200 people gathered. Protesters, death penalty supporters, curious onlookers, and dozens of journalists filled the area, each bringing their own perspective to the night. In contrast, around 75 opponents of the death penalty formed a prayer circle, singing the hymn, "Jesus, Remember Me," in soft, mournful tones. Tony Blankenship, part of a group from Our Lady of Lourdes Roman Catholic Church in Daytona Beach, joined the vigil. "We gather weekly to pray against this violence," she explained, echoing a sentiment shared by activists like Mark Elliott of Floridians for Alternatives to the Death Penalty. Elliott criticized the execution as a spectacle, saying, "The state of Florida is giving this psychopathic killer exactly what he wanted, celebrity status through a high-profile execution. Lock him up, throw away the key, and let him die alone and unremembered." Rolling himself had mixed reflections as the end approached. In a letter to the Associated Press, he described his time in prisons across Alabama, Georgia, and Mississippi as harsh, claiming, "A mangy dog gets more consideration than what I received." But he also acknowledged the enormity of his crimes, writing, "Any complaint I may have pales in comparison to the terrible wrong I inflicted upon good people. I stand in the shadow of their suffering. If it is to be mercy, then I shall be eternally grateful. If it is to be the wrath of vengeance, then God grant me the strength to face what I must." As the clock neared 6 p.m., Danny Rolling was escorted from his holding cell to the death chamber, his hands and feet securely restrained. Guards led him through the prison corridors, the shuffle of footsteps punctuating the tense silence of those final moments. Upon arrival, Rolling was laid on a gurney and strapped down, his arms extended outward for the administration of the lethal injection. Inside the chamber, meticulous preparations were underway. Rolling was connected to an IV line, through which the lethal combination of drugs would soon flow. A tense silence filled the chamber as 47 witnesses observed the proceedings, each from designated viewing areas partitioned for victims' families, law enforcement officials, and the media. Among the witnesses were relatives of Rolling's 5 Gainesville victims, their faces etched with the pain of long years of grief. For them, this moment carried the heavy weight of justice finally fulfilled. It was time. As Danny Rolling lay strapped to the gurney in the execution chamber, he was asked if he had any final words. He offered none for the victims, their families, or the community devastated by his crimes. Instead, he chose to sing. For 2 minutes, Rolling's voice filled the chamber, delivering a series of gospel verses. One verse proclaimed, "He who flung the stars into the heavens above created the oceans, mountains, eagles, and doves. None greater than thee, O Lord, none greater than thee." Over the course of 5 verses, Rolling focused solely on his religious reflections, omitting any acknowledgement or remorse for his heinous acts. The witnesses listened silently, the gravity of the scene reflected in their stillness. As Rolling's final statement ended, the lethal injection process began. The combination of drugs worked quickly and efficiently. Within minutes, Danny Rolling, the man who had terrorized Gainesville with his horrific murders, was pronounced dead at 6:13 p.m. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a new upload. See you in the next one.